All right, this warm-up series is preparing for a heavy squat day. Starting off with a horse stance squat. As you saw, my feet were stuck together at the beginning, and then I shimmied them apart, basically rotating and using that as somewhat of like a gauge or a measurement so you can have consistency each time. For me, I know I do 5 rotations of the feet to get out to stance, and this is basically used as like somewhat of a hip opener. You'll find that you feel hip capsule really tight when doing this, or groin. I like this movement. It's like a simple dynamic mobility exercise for preparing a squat. Next, moving on to a bottoms up shrimp squat. I like this because it's a good glute activator, as well as driving from basically a dead stop position, working on the concentric strength. I'm also a big fan of this because if you're preparing to do like box squats or whatever, basically driving from a dead stop to me works on like the speed and power of my hips coming out of the bottom position. Next, we'll move on to banded monster walks. You can use a ladder, like an X band like this where it's crossed over, or you can use a hip circle. But for me, this is a pretty simple setup, and I basically just set up, pull tension in the band, and I'm walking, doing some lateral side-to-side shuffles going forward and backward. You'll feel good activation of the glutes when you do this. Next, I like to finish with some squat jumps for max height. So working on depth in the bottom and then working on driving out of speed at the top. Trying to get as high as I can. I'll do this for about 3 sets, and I usually feel pretty warmed up and fired up, ready to go into a heavy squat.